Alright, we are on the draw with RUG Delver, and I would say this hand's actually quite good. So we'll keep it. Go to us, naturally. Do we want turn 1 Renegade or turn 1 Visions? Oh dear, it's Affinity. Oh dear, Affinity is probably the worst matchup for this hand. Our interaction is going to come from using these cantrips. And they just played a flyer. We drew a bolt. I believe we just used that bolt right now. Or do we save it? Let's wait until their turn to decide exactly what to do, but I do believe we want to be bolting this Volt Scourge immediately. What's the worst thing that can happen? They play a bunch of artifacts into a Ravager and we can't deal with it. I really don't think we want to go with Visions here. I do believe holding up Lightning Bolt is what we want to do. Ink Moth, sure. I almost want to bolt the Overseer instead. Yeah, I do. Take 2, they gain 1. Let's grab a Stomping Ground and deal with the first of what will probably be many payoff cards. Okay, we have Shoal online, which is fantastic. I'm pretty sure we just slam Goyf in that scenario, given that we can Shoal almost anything in their deck. If it's an Etched Champion, please don't be an Etched Champion, or a Master of Ethereum, then we cannot. But 1s and 2s we have down pat. How likely are we to find another removal spell for that? Because if we can find a removal spell, I think I would rather save the Shoal. Alas, that seems fairly difficult to pull off. I think we need to deal with this Overseer as well. Overseer will make both Blinkmoth and Scourge a very big pain to deal with if we don't get rid of it immediately. And we aren't super likely to find a Lightning Bolt off of just a single draw step. We will, of course, try to find a Lightning Bolt, though. Yeah. Snare is good against potential draws, but I don't think we can beat their board currently. They swing for at least 2 in the air with lifelink, make it 2 infect as well. So we die in 5 turns to infect. Meanwhile, they gain 2 a turn. We do 4 a turn, which is basically doing 2 a turn. So we need 10 turns to kill them, and they only need 5 to kill us. So I don't think Snare will do. Renegade will be helpful in making sure that Memnite doesn't have good attacks. As Memnite, Vault Scourge, Signal Pest all attacking us would be an even faster clock than a 2-1 Ink Moth. Somewhere along there, Goyf became a 5-6, but I'm pretty sure it was a 4-5 prior, so it must have been the Visions. Which does speed our clock up a bit, which is good. We're just going to trade there because we have literally nothing better to do. Scalding Tarn isn't what we wanted. I'll probably get an island with it. How much are we taking? We hit them for 5. Goyf can't block anything, so Goyf is attacking. We hit them for 5. They gain 3. They gain 1. So we're doing 1 a turn, while they hit us for 3 infect a turn. That's a pretty bad proposition. Unfortunately, it's the only real proposition we have. Mana Leak seems bad. Dismember is going to hurt so much. Can I get something better than Dismember? Because I can use Dismember. We Dismember the Vault Scourge and hope to find a second removal spell for the Ink Moth. We'll have at least 3 turns. We're going down to 7 off of Dismember. We take 2 a turn off of these. That's a 3-turn clock anyways. We're just in a miserable spot. Bottom both of these. Basically, we can't deal with just about any of their payoff. Or sorry, we can't. We're doing a terrible job dealing with this board right now. I don't think that's even debatable. So, we're having trouble with the board as is. If we can't answer this, I'm not even going to worry about a potential Ravager. That's fine. Or a Plating, or another Overseer. The Master, I think we do have to deal with. We can actually Dismember it because it's a 5/5. They tapped the Springleaf Drum, so they won't be able to animate Ink Moth in response. Oh no, it counts itself. Oh dear. So, they attack with both of these. So we're looking at taking 2. Well, actually, no. We're taking 4. They gained 3. Dismembering Master doesn't do anything right now. If I Dismember the Vault Scourge, I think I just die to Master of Ethereum. This makes me wish we held up Mana Leak, but I don't know if that was the right play. I really don't know what we should do. We take out Vault Scourge, we have to deal with Master and Ink Moth. I think we have to let this happen and just be extremely fortunate such that we draw the best things ever. We need another removal spell. And we need it before we deal with Master. That's a removal spell. Unfortunately, Master buffs these guys, and so we kill Master, and these guys get smaller, and then Forked Bolt is great against them. But we need to Forked Bolt them so that we can kill the Master, and we need to kill the Master before we can Forked Bolt them. So we are in a very, very annoying catch-22. What do we kill? A Signal Pest? A Vault Scourge? Definitely the Master. If we leave the Signal Pests and we deal with the Viscera Seer, we take 2 damage. We'll be going to 3 off of the Dismember. We're dead in 2 turns to Signal Pests, so I don't even care about the Ink Moth at that point. But if we leave the Did I call it a Viscera Seer at any point? Because I was about to. And I don't remember if I already did. If we leave the Vault Scourge around, they gain life in addition to doing the same amount of damage. So we have to deal with Vault Scourge and Master. So let's put 2 here. 1, 2. Red. Kill that. Dismember. Yes. Yes. That. Yup. We can't block Signal Pests, and we need to kill them at some point. So we're going to keep on trucking on. And pass to them. Oh, and they also gain life off of Inventor's Fair. I don't think I've been in a worse spot than this. One less artifact, and we would have had a massive blowout. We could have taken out Vault Scourge and a Signal Pest. We would have still gone to 3, but they would have no ability to do regular damage to us. So it would just be a 4-turn clock with Infect. Dispatch. Can't counter that one. We're still going to Thought Scour. Yeah, they don't even care about the infect round now. They just want to kill us. Found a Mandrills. So, we need a removal spell to deal with at least one Signal Pest. Traverse could find a Snapcaster Mage, but we lack the 4th land to do anything with that, so we're going to go to end step and die. There's no need to show them Hooting Mandrills, although they probably know that we have it. We could Traverse for a Delver, but it won't flip in time to take out Signal Pest, so that's not helpful. Basically, we just roll over. It's possible that we could have taken this game if we didn't try to cantrip into the Dismember. But I'm not sure how much more damage we take in that scenario. Do I even deal with this? I mean, I'm dead. I'm just dead. Do I bother showing them a mana leak? I mean, there's the off chance that they don't kill us. And maybe they're concerned with us having a lightning bolt, so they decide to animate Inkmoth instead. I don't know. Yeah, we're dead. Okay. Excuse me. So, that went pretty awfully. Let's try to fix that. Renegade goes because it doesn't block a lot of their things. I like to cut at least one Mandrills. We'll maybe see a second be leaving. Spell Snare is amazing. Simic Charm is a lot less amazing. Dismember, I think I like. I'm going to cut at least 2 Scours to start because we are looking to do quite a bit of interacting. Artifact Hate seems like a good idea against Affinity. I like Huntmaster a lot against them. It might be too slow. I need to figure that out because like I said the other day, or actually I think it was about a week ago, I don't think Affinity is nearly as good as I used to think it was. That could be a function of Probe getting banned. Could be a function of, I don't think Affinity sped up at all. Could be a function of variance that I thought it was better before, and now I think it's worse. I don't know. That variance could obviously go 2 different ways. Either it actually is good and it just seems bad now, or it was always bad and it seemed good before. I don't like Blood Moon against them. It doesn't do a lot. It also is slow and makes us take off turn 3 optimistically. If we don't hit our land drops in time, we take off a later turn. Vapor Snag could be good, and I'm interested in whether or not I want EE. Could be very slow, could also be very good. It's a way to deal with Etch Champion and a massive Master of Ethereum, but of course Vapor Snag does that as well. The presence of Vapor Snag makes me a little more okay with cutting Simic Charm. Let's get rid of these shoals because we are taking out some blue cards, and we brought in a lot that were not blue. Shoal also just isn't that great against Affinity, I think. We'll cut a Traverse because we're not looking to go very long. I guess we kind of are, but we're looking to go long in a way that does a lot of interacting and cares a lot less about finding threats. Although finding lands is still good. What do we cut? Let's get rid of these 2 Thought Scours. 1 more card needs to leave. I don't really want to cut any more threats. Possibly an Explosives. It is slow. Maybe we keep just a 1-of. Maybe a Mana Leak, maybe a Denial. Let's cut a Denial. Excuse me. I think it's the Denial. They don't have that many things I want to Denial. Most of the things I want to Denial I can leak anyways. Let's cut it. 60 cards. Give it a go. See what we can do on the play against Affinity. We don't have a blue source. We have a traverse that can get a blue source. But our only interaction is Revelry. We do have Denial. I don't think it's great. I'm going to mulligan. This is probably better. A red, green land. Oh yeah. Even better than better. If they puke their hand, we Pyroclasm. If they don't, we probably Tarfire. That's, of course, on turn 2. Turn 1 is just going to be a lowly island. We can hold up Vapor Snag if that's somehow relevant, though. I do like Vapor Snag against Ravager. Especially when they decide to go in on Ravager into Manland. I like it quite a bit. Bounce the Manland. Puts them nicely behind. Alright, we are back recording with more water and a slightly clearer throat. Actually, a much clearer throat. I can hear it already. They played a Blink Moth and they're going for Springleaf. Can't interact with it, that is fine. I'm just going to play this land and pass. They did not puke their hand. So we'll just hold up Tarfire and Vapor Snag. Signal Pest. That's something I would very much like to kill eventually. Ravager. Okay, so Ravager has 1, 2, 3 artifacts that it can sacrifice if we go for Pyroclasm. If we go for Pyroclasm, they're definitely sacking the Signal Pest. Ravager will probably sack a second thing and then survive, which kind of sucks. So I think we just Tarfire the Signal Pest now. Let's get a Stomping Ground. Where are you, Stomping Ground? Oh, I'm not used to having this many things in this column. I guess Ancient Grudge and whatever else that is before S. This is sorted alphabetically. Usually Steam Vents and Stomping Ground are around here. So that really threw me off. Let's take out Signal Pest. If they go wide, we probably go for Pyroclasm to force them to use the Ravager, and then Vapor Snag, whatever they put it on, which actually seems really good. Another Springleaf Drum, sure. So they have plenty of artifacts. Okay. I think I want to get... I definitely cast this Traverse. Thing is, do I put the shields down and cast Delver, or do I get a red or green card? I think it's a red or green card to facilitate Huntmaster, but I also would like to play this Delver. And I don't know, I think I can pretty safely take the turn off from holding up Vapor Snag. So let's get a mountain or a forest. Which one's more important? I think mountain. We're going to play it. And we will play Delver. We can at least fake bluff that, well, I guess fake out or bluff that we have a very good red spell to cast. So that should dissuade them from doing anything very risky to get a bunch of damage in. Delver is a little bit of a non-bow with Pyroclasm, but Delver is also really good in this matchup because it gets flying. And in a pinch, it's a clock. Xmage seems to be bugging a little bit because they have, or they should have priority, but we are the ones with our timer ticking down. So I'm going to try to, while leaving this open another Xmage on top of it, and it should transfer the game over and fix our problem. Well, I don't think it finished opening Xmage, but we resynced up. We now just have a second Xmage open. Let's get rid of that. Okay, plating. We can't interact with that. Plating and Ravager are a little redundant, but not so redundant that it matters a lot. Vault Scourge comes down, that's fine. They can put the plating on the Ravager and get in. We probably chump in that case. Do we chump in that case? I guess I'll wait to see. Plating goes on Ravager. Chumping forces an activation of the Ravager. They put it on Vault Scourge. That's not particularly interesting. The question is, should they attack with Ravager? Do I want to block it? They can very easily trade with Delver in that spot. But I think if I don't do anything, they're just going to hit me for 1. Of course, on the flip side, Delver dies to Pyroclasm anyways, and I'm probably going to do that. I think they just hit me for 1, so I'll let it happen. I don't think they do it much. They don't. That's good. So we probably hit them with Delver. I will reveal that Pillar of Flame. So we get to hit for 3, or we go for Pyroclasm first. Question is, what's the play? If we go for Pyroclasm first, no, that's just a bad idea because they're not countering Pyroclasm. So if we do want to Pyroclasm, we lose Delver. If we don't want to Pyroclasm, we keep Delver. Another possibility is we don't Pyroclasm, instead we use the Pillar of Flame we showed them to target Vault Scourge, try to get them to go in on something, and then Vapor Snag. I do think I want to attack. Pillar is a little more versatile than Pyroclasm in that it costs less mana and doesn't have anti-synergy with Huntmaster. Only to a point does it have anti-synergy because you Pyroclasm generally long before you want to slam Huntmaster. But what do we want to do? If we go for Pyroclasm, they probably put a bunch of counters on something, but they also might just have it go just big enough to survive. Whereas if we Pillar, we don't lose our Delver in the process. Let's go for the Pillar that they know about. Targeting the Vault Scourge. They either sack the Vault Scourge to the Ravager, or they go all in on the Vault Scourge here. Naturally, I'm hoping they go all in on the Vault Scourge. Ravager, sacks. Oh, are they going all in? They might be. Happens. Yup. This is exciting. Oh, they're not going quite all in, so they do want to have something, it looks like, left over for if Vault Scourge does go down. That's fine. Vault Scourge can live. For now. We'll be bouncing it very, very soon. Inky is okay. They animate Blink Moth, get an extra point in, that's fair. Oh, they're just trying to maximize plating here. Let's let them attack. There's no harm in that. And this is why I like Vapor Snag in the matchup. Technically, Simic Charm does just about the same thing here, but Vapor Snag also causes them to lose a life, which is nice. Let's get rid of that Vault Scourge. I will happily take 1. And no, they can still... Oh, wait. Yeah, they can. They can Opal and then pay the Phyrexian price. I was wondering if they were unable to put Vault Scourge back down, which would have been really funny. Vault Scourge comes back. At least they go to 12 to do it. Phyrexian mana is really good. And they put plating on it, which is interesting. I guess that makes sense. We drew a mana leak. So we either Pyroclasm or hold up mana leak. The opponent can't necessarily create enough black mana to switch plating over at instant speed. They would need to... So they have 3 lands available. Let's say they draw a land. They have 4 lands. They animate 1 and attack. So they're down 1. Now they're down 2 lands. They would still be able to animate one of the man lands, use it with the Springleaf Drum, and move the Vault Scourge over. Or move the plating over. But I don't think I want to Pyroclasm here. It just gets rid of Delver and Vault Scourge, and then they put plating on Inkmoth. So I think we pass to them, hold up our blocker, hold up Mana Leak, and do what we can do. This, of course, is much better if we have some sort of removal spell in our hand, but we don't. I wonder if the 3rd Huntmaster in the sideboard should be a removal spell. Possibly. Do I counter that? I might actually just go for it because it makes them have a much harder time piling on damage right now. And we already paid the opportunity cost for holding up the mana leak, so we can get something out of that at least. Okay. They want to resolve it. Now the question is, are they attacking into Delver? If they don't, I probably end up Pyroclasming. If they do, I'm almost certainly going to trade. They do. Let's block. Goyf. How good is playing Goyf here? We either play Goyf or we kill Signal Pest. So if we don't kill Signal Pest, how much damage do we take? They animate Inkmoth. They put plating on Inkmoth. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5. That's a 2-turn clock. That's really fast. It's a 2-turn clock, even if they don't have Signal Pest, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with Darksteel, 6 with Inkmoth. So they animate Inkmoth with Darksteel. They put the plating on it with the Blinkmoth. And even if they don't have the Signal Pest, they swing for 5 Infect. So the Signal Pest is not very relevant to our play. Another land. That's going to be a lot of Infect. Possibly even some regular damage coming across. This is a spot where you might possibly want Pyroclasm to be an instant speed board wipe, like Kozilek's Return. Yep, that's what it's called. The bonus with Kozilek's Return is it's technically colorless because of Devoid, and therefore can destroy Etched Champion. So it's actually possible Pyroclasm or the 3rd Huntmaster should be... Oh dear, 7, that's a lot. Make it 8. Make it 9. With the Signal Pest, we're dead. We are dead. I do not have any way to interact with that. So we technically... So if I knew... Well, I guess they needed the other land drop for that. But if we thought about that play, and if I did know 100% that they would be doing that if I played Goyf, what we should do is Pyroclasm to take out the Signal Pest. That buys us another turn, but I don't think that does us any good unless we top deck something like a Lightning Bolt, because then we're just dead the next turn. So, yeah, that was just rough. It's entirely possible we shouldn't be playing 3 Huntmaster in the board. Maybe we're supposed to have more things for Affinity. I still don't know, but the more we play against it, the more we learn, so that's good. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching that video. Thanks for watching regardlessly, even if you didn't like it. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.